Substitution has been called as Ray Borner leaves the floor. He's replaced by Greg Hubbard. And it's not very often that you see a centre player replaced by a guard.
No, Ray Borner wouldn't be all that happy with his game tonight. But still, we've got to be fair to the man. He just did miss the first 3 weeks with injury.
Another rare ball by Chuck Harmison.
Jeez, they've thrown a stick to you tonight, haven't they, Mike?
Foul on Gary Gaspard. That's his 5th foul.
So good night, Gary. Gary's out of the game. Gordy McLeod will come back.
And the Illawara Hawks losing more players than Barry Unsworth seats.
Oh, is that the case? I don't know. Who won up there? Not that that's as important as this is, because we've got Scotty Ninnis on the foul line. Had a pretty good game as young Scott Ninnis tonight.
Scotty's still shooting 75% from the foul line with that miss. He's made 2 3-pointers and shooting 80% from the floor. But down at the other end, Chuck Harmison makes a good basket.
That was a nice in ball from Warwick Giddy there. All started, of course, by that little man, Gordy McLeod. And that was a rocket-like pass, went from Jones to Ninnis, but too quick, in fact. This is Roddy Johnson with the ball. Again now across to Giddy. So Illawara running at home and still trying their hearts out. But they're not going to win this game because they're down by 35. Sandy Simons gets his own rebound, flicks it up. Mark Bradke, he'll make the basket. Sandy Simons annoyed that he didn't make it. Still, there's not much left in this game, Mike. Only a minute 48 to go. 110 plays 73.
Well, I never thought it'd get to this sort of a stage. I thought, like you said, it'd be a very close, hard-fought game, but Illawara just seemed to have died. It's going to be a very big confidence boost for Adelaide for the road next weekend against 2 Melbourne teams. David Spears all the way. Baskets just aren't seen to be dropping quite.
No, Adelaide just failing to finish off the work. That's a nice basket at the other end from Roddy Johnson. He hasn't been their worst player tonight, Lynn. He's tried very, very hard.
He has. He's done a good job on defence. It was a tough job to come in on Daryl Pearce, and he really did a good job. And it was a good basket that he's just made. David Spear with another shot. Comes away. It's the Hawks. Hubbard goes all the way to the basket. Picked up again by Johnson. Another 2 points to Johnson.
Good block by Scotty on Greg Hubbard, went all the way. I think Scotty got a little bit of a piece to it, but Johnson just followed it up nicely and put it in.
Well, Illawara coming into this game now. They're getting their own back, but it's all too late because Adelaide's well and truly won the game. That time, Andy Simon scores. The defence just opened right up, and Simon drove straight through the middle of it.
And the shooting percentages for this quarter also tell the story. 81% from the floor to the 36ers against 54% from the Hawks. 30 seconds remaining. It's 112 to the West End 36ers. They lead the Illawara Hawks on 77.
Shot comes up from Johnson, and that's another goodie. Rod Johnson, he can't be too disappointed with his effort tonight. He's been asked to do a fair bit, but Adelaide well and truly have this game in command. Andy Simons goes right over the top. Probably the foul called on him. Yep, a charging foul. Mike, agree with that call?
Oh, with 10 seconds to go, I can't see Illawara getting this game up.
No, I think there's someone in the crowd that's taken your fancy, Mike. 112 plays 79, as you say, 10 seconds to go.
And as we were talking earlier, you put the hard word on me, Andrew, to give the Hungry Jacks Player of the Year, Player of the Match award. You threw me. And for the reasons that I gave earlier, I think that Daryl Pearce would be entitled to that game. I've been very impressed by the way that Pearce has 8 assists. He's made some great baskets. He's really the person that brought his teammates and the big guys into the game very early in the match.
The crowd start to count the clock down. There's a foul there, so you can stop the clock. And that gives me enough time, Mike, to ask you, who's your vote as the best player in the match?
Well, I'd have to agree with Lynn and say Daryl. Daryl's sort of... He's been there, he's put the pressure shots in when needed, he's gave up the assists, he's done the hard work on defense. It's a tough decision between Daryl or Al, but I'd sort of have to lean towards Daryl, I think.
David Spear misses with the shot, so that'll give Illawara one last chance for a shot. Gordy McLeod goes across to Hubbard, and he makes the basket. Will it count? No basket. The game is all over, 112 to 81. So the Adelaide West End 36ers, big winners. Great game here by the home side. We'll take a break and be back in a moment. Very long way to see a more impressive performance than that. Adelaide, with 2 of its key players out with injury, kicked Illawara by 31 points. Gary Fox, you haven't stopped smiling since the end of the game.
You're right, Andy. That was an outstanding effort. I mean, it was a very tough physical game, and I can't say any more than we played outstanding. The guys are just playing terrifically. I mean, in everything we're trying to accomplish, they're doing well, and I got to give sort of special praise to Al Green and Daryl Pierce. They were, unbelievable. They're the best backcourt in the league. They put in a outstanding performance tonight. Young Mark Bradkey, great performance. Bill Jones was really good and solid. We're getting some good help from the bench. Scott Ninnis helped. Outstanding game. Very happy.
Foxy, what a horrible problem to have. Mike Nakai and Mark Davis to come back into this team.
Yeah, it's a tough problem. We'll probably find somewhere to fit them in, but it's a tough problem. Very pleasing, isn't it?
Good luck on the road next week.
Yeah.
One of the men Gary was talking about is this man, Daryl Pierce. That's a sensational effort. Even you're smiling tonight.
Yeah, it was a good team effort. Everyone contributed, and you can't single out anyone. But we've really grouped together since the two players were injured, and I think it's just a bonus when they come back.
Would you say that's one of Adelaide's best performances in the last year and a half?
Oh, I think so. It's the way we want to play, and I think we're finally getting our running game going. And once we get to 100% in our running game, if that's not on and we go to our offense this year, which is really starting to come together, I don't think teams, or many teams, will have an answer for us.
Well, Daryl, well played. Get that jaw looked after. You got a nice biff there. That was a sensational performance, as we said, from the Adelaide boys. Next weekend, they're on the road for 2 games in Melbourne. If you want to see those games, then you better keep watching Channel 7. Until then, it's good night from the Apollo Stadium.